This is a push day that I did. There's a few poses there, and it was a working day, so I had to walk to work in the rain. And started off with bench press, 112 kilos. It moved okay. The safety bars were too high. But yeah, I didn't get much sleep the night before. Sort of fell asleep just after 1, kept tossing and turning. Had to get up at 6:30, so I think that sort of affected my performance and killed my motivation, really. But yeah, moved up to 122 kilos, and I failed the 5th rep, which is quite embarrassing considering the week before I was doing 130 kilos. So yeah, quite a subpar performance from me there. Kept the weight at 122 kilos, and I was sort of playing around with the bulldog grip, which is where you have the bar in the palm of your hand and you press your fingertips into the bar, which makes it more stable, and it felt okay. I just need to get used to it. I can tell by watching this footage back that I wasn't using leg drive effectively, and I was losing tension in my lats, which obviously made the bench press a lot harder, and yeah, these are things I need to work on. But yeah, nevertheless, after that I moved into weighted dips, and this is 80 kilos here, and I only managed 4 reps. I was going for 5 but gave up on the 5th one. Usually I get around 6, so you know, I wasn't too displeased with this performance. But after this I then moved down to 60 kilos and managed to get 10 reps, and yeah, they moved okay considering. In all honesty, I was hesitant about posting this workout because in my eyes it's a subpar performance. I know I can do a lot better, but I guess that's reflective of life. You know, you're not always going to have good days. You're not always going to be hitting PRs and stuff like that, and you know, as they say, you can't have good without bad, you can't have happy without sad, you can't have sunshine without rain, or joy without pain. So you know, I guess we can just learn from it and be grateful for those sunny days where we do hit PRs. And then I moved into side raises with 15 kilo dumbbells. I think I did 4 sets here, but looking back, you don't really need to raise your hands as high as I am here, as long as they're sort of shoulder height and you're really mainly focused on where the elbow is. That's most important. And I like to do them seated just to minimize movement, momentum, and really focus on making the muscle work. And then I moved on to what's called a Cuban press. I've never actually done these before, but it's kind of like an upright row or a clean into an overhead press, and these are actually quite challenging because you're having to stabilize yourself. And yeah, it works the rotator cuff as well, so you can, you know, build strong, healthy shoulders. I used 15 kilos for these, so the same weight as the side raises, but next time I'll probably superset them instead of doing them one after the other. And then I did side raises with a cuff on the cable. I put the cable height at around or just above knee height, and I use a cuff so there's less stress on the wrist. And I like to do them behind the body, because when you do them in front of the body, I find it's easy to sort of lean back and the front delt sort of takes over when you fatigue. And then I did single arm and tricep push downs, which I like to do with a cuff, and I like to do these because it helps iron out any imbalances you have. So I always start with my weaker side and then go on to my stronger side, and you don't really need much rest in between sets for this one, mainly because it's not a very taxing exercise, and you know, whilst one side's working, the other side's resting, so that's plenty enough. And then after this, I moved on to hanging leg raises. I can reach the handles on my tiptoes, and I'm short enough so that my feet don't actually touch the ground. But these are probably one of my favourite ab exercises. I do these all the time. I try and control the movement as much as I can and really focus on the stretch at the bottom and then the squeeze at the top. And it's quite hard on the grip, and it's quite a hard exercise overall. You'll definitely feel it if you've never done these before, but just try and use as little momentum as possible and really control the movement throughout the entire rep. The slower you go, the more controlled it is, the harder it will be. So the ideal is to do it slowly and completely under control and minimize swinging, which is something we don't want. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.